today the relations with China is not on the equality and mutual benefit. Why? This principle is overarching theme of the Panchsheel Agreement, promoting harmony and stability. In 1955, you remember 1954, we were signing Panchsheel. Right after 1 year, there was... So if suppose Russia and Ukraine, if they work on these principles, then there would have been no fight. What is exactly Panchsheel? And the policy which was started between India and China, it was just a bilateral policy. Later on, it became the philosophy for the whole world. Right? What exactly went wrong in 1950s that India needs to do Panchsheel policy? Got my point? Second question which we will try to find out. First, why Panchsheel policy was needed? Second, what is Panchsheel policy? And the third question, which is very important for this lecture, that if everything was good between India and China, and if they already signed Panchsheel policy, then why 1962 war between India and China? Right? What exactly went wrong in 1954 when both two countries started that we will not fight with each other, we will not interfere with each other's matter, right? There should be a peaceful coexistence. We should talk about equality and benefit, right? See, India and China both are one of the most oldest civilization of this Asia, right? So in 1950, when the whole world was in chaos between the two poles, that is USA, the idea of capitalism, and between the USSR, the idea of communism. When the world was fighting between capitalism and communism, and these are the countries like India and China, they are newborn babies. Then they thought that after 200 years of slavery, after 200 years of colonialism, if still we have to choose between an ideology, either it is capitalism or either it is communism, it is again a form of colonialism only. Yes or no? So they thought that let's, from India's side, Jawaharlal Nehru, and from China's side, Zhou Enlai, who was the first prime minister or premier of their China, they both came together in 1954. And they thought that we must have an agreement. And later on, you will get to know that this Panchsheel policy became the guiding principle of not only India's foreign policy, but for the major global institutions, be it NAM, be it World Bank, be it anyone. Today, every country wants these kind of Panchsheel policy. Although you will feel that this Panchsheel policy is the idea of idealism. It has nothing to do with in the realistic world order. Today we are living in a hardcore realism world order. But still, they are the guiding torch. These 5 principles are the guiding torch in even the current world order. Right? Now we'll start Panchsheel policy. See, the word Panchsheel, Panch means 5 and Sheel means guiding principles. This Panchsheel is being taken from the Buddhism idea that if we adopt these 5 principles, then there will be no chaos between India and China. Right? The agreement was signed between India and China on 29th April 1954 between then Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru and their Prime Minister Zhou Enlai. Right? Then what are these principles? First we need to focus on these principles and then we'll do the story building. The first principle is that we will not interfere into each other's internal affair. That we will not interfere into each other's internal affair. Second point, that we should respect each other's territorial integrity and sovereignty. Sovereignty is very costly. India paid for 200 years just to gain sovereignty. So number one, there should not be interference in each other's internal affair. Got my point? Second, that we should respect each other's territorial integrity and sovereignty. Third point, there should be peaceful coexistence. जियो और जीने दो, खुद भी जिंदगी जियो, हमें भी जीने दो. Fourth point, there should be mutual respect and benefit. Got my point? And the last point, which is mutual non-aggression. Neither you attack on us, neither we will attack on you. This was signed between Jawala, India and China. This was a bilateral agreement basically. Then it became a policy for every country. That if we adopt these 5 principles, automatically we'll have a good relations with every country. Yes or no? If you don't interfere into somebody's internal affair, right, they will also not interfere. Second, there should be peaceful coexistence. You respect somebody's territorial integrity, they will respect your territorial integrity. You respect somebody's sovereignty, they will respect your sovereignty. There should be mutual non-aggression. Perfect, fine. These are the 5 principles, right? These are the 5 principles. Then what went wrong? This was signed on 29th April 1954. These 5 principles were signed between India and China in 1954. But right, what happens exactly after 8 years? Exactly after 8 years, India and China had a fight in 1962. What led India and China to fight in 1962? Actually, in 1959, there was a rebellion in Tibet. And you know, 1773 Act to 1947, in those acts, if you clearly look, that India and China both were under the Britishers. You remember 1813 Act? That trade with tea and trade with China and trade with India extended for 20 years. You remember those points? Actually, India, this area, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Uttaranchal, this area is very sharing boundary with modern day China. But actually this was Tibet earlier. So India was doing trade with Tibet. At that point of time, Tibet was an autonomous state. So there was a rebellion because Chinese people were started slowly encroaching the Tibet. Was Dalai Lama. He was a young boy at that point of time, 14 years or 15 years. Then Chinese army were about to kill. They have almost reached his castle. But from the back door, he went away, he flew away, and then Indian government supported him and supported his exile in India in Himachal Pradesh. And that particular step, China thought that it is a violation of India's Panchsheel policy, because you have already taught us, you have already said that there should not be any internal disturbance, there should not be any interference in each other's internal matter, and this was our internal matter. But that was not their internal matter, because India feel the pain of 200 years of colonial legacy. Even Tibet deserves to be independent. Right? Second most thing, important thing, in that period, 1959, these Chinese people were drawing one road. They were building one road near Aksai Chin, which is currently claimed by India but controlled by China. Same way Arunachal. Today it is controlled by India but claimed by China. And later on, when we move to India-China policy, you will learn that today also China have a dream of 5-finger policy. They believe this Arunachal, they believe this Tibet, they believe this Sikkim, they believe this Tibet, everything is theirs only. Got my point? So in Panchsheel is a guiding principle for India's foreign policy signed between India and China on 29th April 1954. And what are those 5 principles? Number 1, there should not be interference between internal affairs. Second, there should be mutual respect for each other's territorial integrity and sovereignty. Third, there should be peaceful coexistence. Fourth, there should be mutual non-aggression. And fifth, we should talk about benefit of equality. Got my point? There should be equal benefit. Means equal principle should be there. That was the Panchsheel policy. Now, if someone asks you in interview now that why, despite India signed a Panchsheel policy in 29th April 54, still why did India had a war with China? Now you have an answer of this. Now my question, that it still Panchsheel policy is relevant in the contemporary world order. The answer is yes. Why? Because today's major global institutions, the organizations like non-alignment movement, they were set up on this principle only, that mutual benefit, there should not be interference in each other's country's internal affairs, there should be a respect for India, you should respect somebody's territory, you should respect somebody's sovereignty. The foundation block. Now if someone asks you today that what is India's foreign policy, you must say that India's foreign policy is Panchsheel. Although it was signed for China, but today it is relevant for every country. See, we don't want to interfere into Nepal's domestic politics. Yes or no? We don't want, even Sri Lanka doesn't want that India should interfere. Even we don't want that Sri Lanka should give us lecture. We don't want that somebody should speak in your Kashmir matter, that this principle applies to you also. That you should also not speak into somebody's internal politics. Got my point? This is called Panchsheel agreement. Panch means 5, Sheel means guiding principle. Right? This is called Panchsheel agreement. Now we'll see the pros, cons and everything we'll see now. Got my point? This is the whole summary of the Panchsheel agreement. And if now what examiner can ask you from the prelims point of view, they can ask you Panchsheel is a foreign policy or a bilateral agreement between which of the following countries? India, China, India, Sri Lanka, India, Bangladesh. The answer would be India, China. When it was signed, 29th April 1954. What were the 5 guiding principles? This. Why it is failed? Due to 1959's Tibet War, China-Tibet War, and then later on China captured Tibet. Today, what is the status of Tibet? Tibet is an autonomous state. Their foreign affairs and their military is being controlled by China. Other domestic things we have given them, that the China has given them, that okay, currency, China. So currency, Tibet people are using currency of China. Foreign affairs, any relations, only China will maintain. And at that point of time, even Jawaharlal Nehru recognized Tibet as a part of China. Right? And you know, these small countries, these African and other Asian countries, which were not independent at that point of time, they adopted this Panchsheel policy as their foreign policy. They thought this is a new arrangement. Actually, this Panchsheel policy is a new arrangement to save us from this Cold War politics. Because we don't want to be the part of this dirty game that is known as Cold War. Right? We don't want to be the part of this, either this capitalist bloc or either this communist bloc. It's better to be our neutral. And that is the reason, ladies and gentlemen, that after United Nations, if any other organization have a huge number, that is non-alignment movement. In non-alignment movement, today there are 120 members. That is the reason. Because non-alignment movement is the new name of the decolonization. That we do not accept your authority. We do not accept your supremacy. We have our own identity and we will preserve our own identity. That was the basic idea behind these bilateral agreement. And later on, although these 5 principles look very idealistic, yes or no? Very idealistic. They have nothing to do with today's realistic world order. In today's real world, what is trade, military alliance, power, currency? These are the new national security. These are the realistic issues. For every country today, the realism is what? Everybody wants to first pursue their national interest. Second, how strong their military it is. Third, how strong their currency is. Fourth, how they are behaving in the trade with world order. You got my point? That determines a country's real strength. We say, hey, America is very powerful, China is very powerful. What? They have six abs. What is power? Power means this only. When your currency is strong, means your trade is strong. When military is strong and your government is strong. These are the 5-6 important elements in today's world order, which makes a country very strong. And these idealistic principles were very good. India, Hindi, Chini, Bhai Bhai, Jawaharlal Nehru, and this Chinese premier Zhou Enlai. This is called Panchsheel policy.